This is Benjamin Matthew Dayton. That's him. And that's his van, which he talked about rigging.
Apparently worked at NASA. Look at his shirt.
to bomb Trump supporters. Do we know where he is now?
The last time that they saw him, he was in whatever county Memphis is surrounded by. But then there was another post on one of his socials that said he's been out in the forest, and that was 5 days ago.
Thanks for the. Here you go. I just got notice of a breaking story here.
I can sit here for you if you need any questions, or I can get out. But there's some stuff in here.
Get out!
Get out!
Oh, you can sit. Okay. We'll move on to the CBP One app, but this is actually pretty important.
Breaking story.
Also, I do appreciate that you printed it out so that nobody can read it.
Well, that's helpful.
Look at that font size. Look at that font size.
That's the only way we can fit it on the page.
That's like when they have the title of the book at the top of the page.
The back is going to be probably a little bit better.
Maybe the mic. Move the mic.
Move the
closer
mic in your
to you,
face, Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The microphone really helps if you talk into it. So, no, we're going to go back to the CBP One app. We just got some breaking news right now as a matter of...
we've been working on this for a few hours
font.
to make sure that we could corroborate.
An officer safety bulletin was recent. And by the way, please do hit the like button or share whatever so you can get this out there. We have no idea if this will be removed from YouTube as when we have broken news in the past. An officer safety bulletin was recently issued in response to a Guardian incident report. It was received by the Memphis office of the FBI February 29th. And in this, it's alleged that Benjamin Matthew Dayton sent concerning statements to his mother by text message. He says that he says, have been thinking an awful lot about rigging my van and bombing Trump supporters. So the report, or what is in the report, again, I'm getting this just now, that the mother contacted the FBI, provided these messages. The FBI then informed Homeland Security, and Homeland Security sent this memo to law enforcement. So law enforcement is currently on the lookout for a tan 1995 G20 passenger van with Illinois plates. And officers are being advised to exercise caution if contact is made with Dayton, because according to the OSB, Dayton has a history of suicidal, homicidal ideations, and has mentioned trying to obtain a firearm along with rigging a van and pipe bombs. And I guess we spoke with a special agent there, Andrew Canito, from the Tennessee offices of Homeland Security. Said they were aware of the memo, but refused to provide any other information. So this guy said he's going to go out, rig a van, bomb Trump supporters. This has gone to the FBI. There's a search out there. We have the detail, the plates, the van. Why doesn't the public know about this?
Yes, because they notified the officers. Okay, good first step. Exercise extreme caution if you interact with this guy. He said he wanted to blow up Trump supporters, guys. Are you not notifying the public that, hey, there's a guy out there, there's a van, there's a person? If you see it, could you notify the public basically and say, hey, maybe call law enforcement and tell them about it? Or if you're a Trump supporter and you're standing in line to vote in a primary, like last night, and you're wearing a Trump hat or you're wearing some kind of Trump gear or you're doing...
This came in the 29th. The FBI is not, and the law enforcement.
We were notified, I believe, on Saturday of this. We were digging through it, so this was in preparation
before Super Tuesday.
Exactly.
Yeah, 2023.
And nobody, to our knowledge, nobody was notified about it. We reached out to several sources to try to find out. Nobody was notified about it, other than law enforcement, just to keep an eye out and exercise caution.
Tan 1995 G20 passenger van. Just to be clear, and his name is Benjamin Matthew Dayton. And he talked about rigging a van and bombing Trump supporters. How does this? How do we go through Super Tuesday and everyone?
No, exactly, and replace the name Trump with Biden supporters. You think you think would have been out there quick enough?
What else? I know you've been doing.
They would have arrested people who had nothing to do with it.
Lane, is there anything else?
No, the one thing I wanted to add is, we've wanted to corroborate as much of this as we can. We started looking at his LinkedIn, his Instagram. This person is a huge Palestine supporter. Everything's pro-Palestine, but more than that, he has screenshots and very cryptic videos, and a screenshot from one of those videos is about improvised munitions.
Explosive devices.
No, I think he used the term munitions in that, but it's and then he has the black power fist over the LGBTQ flag. So
it says he was reading the improvised munitions handbook.
Yes, improvised munitions handbook. So
can you guys bring up his headshot again? Can you guys bring up the image there? So this is the guy. Can we zoom in on him so people can know what to look for right now? Yeah, this is Benjamin Matthew Dayton. That's him. And that's his van, which he talked about rigging.
Apparently worked at NASA. Look at his shirt.
to bomb Trump supporters. Do we know where he is now?
The last time that they saw him, he was in whatever county Memphis is surrounded by. But then there was another post on one of his socials that said he's been out in the forest, and that was 5 days ago.
So
it says Shelby County the 28th.
Yeah, Shelby County the 29th, but then as of 5 days ago, which would have been March 1st, he self-proclaimed that he had been out in the forest.
Like a squirrel.
I get Amber Alerts if there's a custody dispute.
Yeah. I mean, at the very least, this should have been a local alert. Like, hey, guys, be on the lookout for this. We have an election coming up, with the primaries like this. I don't understand how this doesn't get out to the public. We were talking about school boards not doing their jobs, notifying parents. Now, the Department of Homeland Security is not doing their job, or at least the local law enforcement, when they got the information, didn't say, hey, Tuesday, it's kind of a big day. There's going to be a lot of Trump supporters out showing their love for Donald Trump. And you don't notify them that there may be a guy rolling up on them in a van rigged with explosives?
Did they say he went to his mom, called his mom?
Texted his mom.
Texted his mom and his mom.
Did she notify
She contacted the FBI. And by the way, just to keep in mind, too, when Antifa was in Utah, right, Salt Lake City, Utah, and they were going to stab, they handed to my producer a shiv and an ice pick to stab Ben Shapiro supporters. The FBI asked us how we were able to infiltrate their encrypted app. It wasn't that hard. And no charges, nothing.
Boy.
But local law enforcement did end up arresting the person that night. Right. The FBI did nothing. So I have had to deal with these people in the past. It surprises me zero. It's just... Not only, we've talked about you don't live in a free country if you have laws. You live in a free country if the laws are applied equally. You also don't live in a safe country if the laws are not applied equally.
Right.
It's about who is the perpetrator, who is the target. Nashville, we see that. We have there was obviously that the other would-be shooter, or was a shooter in Colorado.
Yep. Right
here we have someone who has said, can you imagine if anyone here was texting? if a text was sent from me that I sent privately to Gerald or to you saying, I'm going to rig a van and bomb Biden supporters, and that was sent to the FBI, I'd be making the perp walk before you could hit the piss off YouTube button.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to be clear, just to keep our bases covered, he didn't say he was going to.
He said he's been thinking a lot about it.
So just to
thinking a lot about it. But they obviously saw enough of a threat here that they notified officers. So you can't say, oh, well, there's nothing to it. Like you sent out a notification with a picture and a description of the van and license plate and everything about the story to all of the officers to make sure that they were protected, but the officers weren't the target. I understand they're probably going to be the ones that come in contact with them. So I think that's a fine thing to do. Make sure you do. But hey, maybe put it out to the public. The people that need the information. Sorry, this guy made a really bad call that you thought was legit enough to notify officers that this could be a problem and they need to exercise caution.
Right. The last thing I want to say about this with something like Chippewa Falls or anytime it's like, oh, well, he was on our radar. He was on our radar. Always. And these are the same people in this administration that want to say, oh, this guy said he had a bad day. Let's raise a red flag law and remove his Second Amendment rights. They'll do that, but this guy...
Or someone takes a Xanax and you lose your Second Amendment rights.
But this guy is out for, and he could just be a mentally ill person that needs help, but it does...
Was that an LGBT flag I just saw?
Yes, it is.
Yes. LGBT flag,
let's delve into
Palestine, the improvised munitions handbook.
He's open to work also.
I don't mind the black fist because that's Sirius Radio's logo.
Yes. Really is. And also that fist, it fits well with the rainbow flag. Let's be honest.
Well,
yes, it does.
Don't know how.
Well, you have to hose it off.
If you're doing it right. So, this is one of those situations. Look, hopefully there's more information, but imagine when we talk about people who are killed by illegal immigrants in this country. Say it's Super Tuesday and you have a son or a daughter, a sister, whoever it is, your wife, your husband. This is the first time they get to vote. And they go out to vote. They go to these polls. They go to their station or to their precinct, and they get blown up. And you know that this existed before that happened. That's a much tougher pill to swallow. And the problem is we've seen so many stories afterward where people say, if only we would have known, if only there was something we could do. And of course, they tried out gun control. They tried out red flag laws. Do you really think, let me ask you this, what part of this would be solved by there's already the red flag. In other words, this far surpasses that. And this person is still out there. Who do they want to bomb? Or who are they thinking about bombing? Trump supporters. What's the inspiration? Well, LGBTQ flag, BLM fist, bunch of Palestine postings, pro-Hamas. You look at this person reading the improvised munitions handbook. You know what you need to know, at least for some questioning here. But red flag for your neighbor who maybe got into an argument with a family member who doesn't like them. You do not live in a country where you know how you know it's not applied equally? Hey, how many CIA employees were arrested for the thousands of terabytes of pedophile pornography? Remember that story? Where, and it was so disgusting that we go, wait, did I dream that? No. Every time we go back, we say, oh yeah, that's. I think it was several hundred computers with pedophile pornography. Was it CIA or FBI? I'm pretty sure it was the CIA. It was the CIA. Have they been arrested? Do they have to notify all of their neighbors? Hi, I'm former CIA. I was fired because I had pedophile pornography on my computer. You never hear of it again. Where's the accountability for this? This is the disconnect. Maybe nothing happens. Hopefully, pray to God nothing happens. This person is fantasizing about blowing up Trump supporters. We just had Super Tuesday, where it's one of the rare days where where all of them are going to be.
Yeah. And hopefully this person gets the help that they obviously need, but the police should have done a good job of notifying people and also tracking this person.
Yeah.
This isn't like hey, just in case you come across this guy, be careful. This is like, okay, Super Tuesday's coming up. We're going to kind of lock you down, not like literally lock you in your home, but we're going to know where you are. We're going to assign a drone, something to just keep an eye on you wherever you go right now, because you said you wanted to blow up Trump supporters and there's an election coming up. So, maybe we should take this a little bit more seriously and protect the public a little bit better.
Why do we have a surveillance state?
The Patriot Act.
Yeah, right. But think about it. You have it, and then they can choose what to do with it and apply it depending on who the target is. Think about that. So you have a surveillance state. You've lost your privacy.
Right.
They have this information. No, by the way, no invasion of privacy was required because it was handed over from the mother who was concerned.
Right.
And nothing is actually done to protect the public. I know what they'll say. No, we're handling it. Great. He's in custody now? Oh, so that might be a part of the relevant actions to take if this person is talking about targeting the public.
So it's kind of hard for you to see in this one. It's a little smaller, but in the memo it says no detention of the above subject or vehicle should be made solely based on this bulletin.
Right.
What? Why?
This information is provided to increase situational awareness.
He didn't say I'm going to blow up police officers. The only situational awareness that would have been good to have is Trump supporters going, hey, that's the van. That's blow up Jimmy.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm going to run the other direction. Sorry. Like, what in the hell are we doing?
That's just, what's his name? Oh, no, that's just old blow up Benjamin Matthew Dayton. That's his thing.
He just blows
He's
stuff
incorrigible.
Blow up Benny.
Blow up Benny.
I'm glad nothing happened. Thank God.
Well, nothing has happened yet. And you know what? This is something that goes back to a bigger point, too, that we've made. I said that this was going to happen. And if you look at the violent statistics across this country, first off, there is no group that is more violent than transgender Americans, if you include self-violence and suicide, period. It's not even close. But if you look at the extremism and where it is being bred, it certainly is on the left. And it's very simple. Why? We just talked about this, I believe, they're still parroting. Well, today they just said it. It's a genocide, right? What they were talking about Israel and Hamas.
Yeah.
They say it's a genocide against transgenders. So LGBTQAIP, they're not saying, hey, you have differing opinions. They are saying that you are genocidal if you don't believe in mutilating children. Black Lives Matter has also said it's black genocide. It's modern slavery. The question used to be, would you go back, right? And it's always been this sort of conundrum and kill baby Hitler and the ethical quandary. Fine. But we've already started off with that right now. So we're at the question, would you kill the Trump voter? Because they've made you worse than Hitler. You are a genocidal maniac. You're a genocidist if you're a Trump supporter. Of course it justifies violence if you dehumanize people who vote for God, freedom, country. You don't support children being taken away from their parents to be put on puberty blockers? Genocide. You don't support affirmative action where Asians are being screwed on this deal at universities like Brown and Harvard? Genocide. Slavery. You're worse than a slaveholder. And you're worse than Hitler because you just want to genocide everyone in the LGBTQAAIP community. Plus, you're probably anti-Semitic and racist. If you grow up in an America where you believe that every single person, largely the people who elect presidents, by the way, are genocidists and slave owners and racists, well, what do? I'll tell you this. If we were living under a regime right now like the Nazis, where I believe that they were rounding up my family and executing them just because of how they were born, I probably would get violent. But I live in reality. These people don't. Of course there's going to be violence committed against you. There is no other avenue forward if you're committing genocide. And they say it all the time. That's why this person is radicalized. And then, of course, they have people running interference with our three-letter agencies. And then they'll tell you, right, when they say, we need more money to the FBI, and people say, hold on a second, you're putting up to 80,000 new employees at the IRS, for example, and now they have guns. They call you dispassionate. Why don't you want to fund our social programs? Do you hate the poor? you have any idea how much money is going to the FBI? And yes, I include the IRS, FBI, IRS, CIA. How does this help anybody? How does this help poor people? That's why I don't allow the term compassionate conservative. I want to defund all of this. Always. Because it's useless. By the way, thank you very much. You guys can send, if you continue, we'll continue covering this. Is there anything that I missed, Lee?
That's it.
Okay. Yep. Thank you for letting me know.
Yep.
Send your tips at lwctips@protonmail.com. I guess we still have the promo code undercover for $10 off.
Yeah.
Yep.
None of this happens without your support. We're not funded by a foreign caliphate or a single dollar of YouTube revenue. It's you joining Mug Club. I really hope they catch this guy, and I hope no one gets hurt.
Watch Louder with Crowder live Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.